Have you ever wanted to get through the day with an abundance of energy? Ever wish you felt 10 to 15 years younger than you actually are? Do you wish you could not just keep up with your kids, but wear them out? Our speaker today has spent over 25 years studying how our daily choices affect our health. She has helped countless men and women regain their energy, health, and vibrancy through sustainable lifestyle shifts in a shame-free, collaborative fashion. Among her many accolades, she's written on topics of health and wellness for Athleta's Chi blog, Mother Earth Living magazine, and was one of Startup Nation's top leading moms in business 2014. When she's not diving into research or strategizing winning solutions with her clients, our speaker enjoys binge watching the British Baking Show, exploring the lush forests of the Pacific Northwest, and seeing how many different ways she can sneak vegetables unknowingly into her child's stomach. Helping us solve the healthcare crisis, please join me in welcoming from Seattle, Washington, nutrition coach, 7-time marathoner, and serial killer of succulents, Amy Gallo.
Thank you. I have the answer to the healthcare crisis. Raise your hand if you think healthcare in the United States is at crisis levels. Glad I'm not alone in that opinion. It's a problem, isn't it? And one of the biggest problems is that we're having the wrong conversations about healthcare. Several years ago, we went to our government and said, Uncle Sam, these bills are steep. Can you help us out? And the government said, sorry, these pockets aren't as deep as they used to be. Hold on just a minute. And the government went to the insurance companies and said, listen, you gotta cut us some slack. We can't handle this. And what did the insurance companies say? Do you think we can afford health care? No. Yet we're continuing to have this conversation, right? And it's all centered around who's gonna pay for health care. But that is the wrong conversation, because no one is willing to face the fact that none of us can afford health care. We can't, the government can't, and the insurance companies can't. So you're not going to find the answer there. But I have the answer. It's not especially complicated. It's not even glamorous. In fact, it is the most boring, banal, unsexy solution that anyone could possibly come up with. The answer is vegetables. I know, right? Vegetables. Who knew? I mean, we all know they're healthy. We all know we need to be eating more of them, and yet we're not doing it. But I think part of the problem is that we don't understand how profoundly powerful produce is. I've been studying nutrition for over 25 years, and I keep coming back to vegetables. The top 10 causes of death in this country, 9 out of 10 of them, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, chronic lung disease, chronic kidney disease, even the flu, pneumonia, and suicide are impacted by what we put on our plate. The only one I can't find research for is unintentional accidents. But if you then include alcohol as a consumable, we've got a case for all 10. Research is showing there's no upper limit to the benefit of vegetables. The more you consume, the better off you are. Our government says we need to be getting 5 a day, right? 5 a day. And research published in 2010 in Nutrition Resource and Practice shows that if you get 4 to 6 servings of vegetables a day, your risk of stroke reduces by 32%. That's amazing. Those same researchers took a look at folks who were consuming 6 or more servings of vegetables a day. And you know what they discovered? If you consume 6 or more servings of vegetables a day, your risk of stroke drops by 69%. 69%. There is no pharmaceutical out there that will produce those kinds of results. And so cumulatively, the research is showing that we need to be consuming about 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Yeah. I know, right? But those who do have such vitality and energy and live the duration of their lives in health and wellness. The World Health Organization states that 80% of heart disease, stroke, and kidney disease is due to lifestyle. If we were able to eliminate 8 out of 10 heart attacks, 8 out of 10 strokes, and 8 out of 10 cases of kidney disease, what would that do to the healthcare crisis? See, that's the conversation we need to be having. My job as a nutritionist is basically to teach people how to eat vegetables. Because no matter what they're coming to see me for, veggies are going to show up in the conversation at some point in time. And I like to call these folks, whether they're my personal clients or they're participating in one of my online challenges, I refer to them as my vegetable hunters. Because in this culture, you have to become a hunter of vegetables if they're going to show up on your plate. Because we value convenience over health and ease over vitality. So if you're not looking for your vegetables, they're not going to show up. And there's 2 basic rules that I tell my vegetable hunters. 1, always be on the prowl. Always be looking for vegetables, because if it's not time to eat yet, it will be soon, and you'll want to know where you can find them, right? So I tell them to approach every meal with the question, where am I going to get my vegetables? And just this shift in mindset makes them magically appear on the plate. Vegetables are often hiding in plain sight. It's just that we're not looking for them. The second thing that I tell people is to start with where you're at and then go from there. Because I know some of you don't like vegetables. And it's not your fault that your mother nuked everything to death in the microwave. But usually, people have 1 or 2 vegetables that they can tolerate. And so you start there. And you make sure you get 1 serving of that tolerable vegetable every day, and then 2. And what happens is your palate starts to adjust, and it becomes more open to trying different vegetables. And so when you go out into a restaurant, maybe you consider trying a side or a main or an appetizer that's vegetable rich, because the cooks in the kitchen know how to make vegetables taste good. So let them be your inspiration. You might even discover that you like Brussels sprouts. You just didn't know they needed to be deep fried. The other thing is 10 servings a day. Like, seriously, how on earth is anyone supposed to do that? Again, start with where you are and work up from there. If you're like 87% of Americans, you're getting a little over 1 serving a day. So just make sure you get that serving. And then add another so that you're up to 2. Simply by asking the question, where will my vegetables come from? You're going to raise your awareness, and soon before you know it, you'll be getting your 5 a day, reducing your stroke risk by 32%, right? And then you just work up from there. And like I do with my child, you find ways that you can sneak it into every meal and snack that you consume. And then you'll be at your 10. It's my sincere hope that you leave today with a different conversation in mind the next time someone brings up the topic of healthcare. And honestly, nothing would make me happier than if you donned your vegetable hunter cap and went out in the world with the question, where are my vegetables coming from? Because doing that is going to change the outcome of your plate, which will change the outcome of your health. And when you change the outcome of your own health, you change the outcome of healthcare in the United States. Thank you.